Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the College of Lore Actual Play. I am Cass.
I am the penitent. I'm six D&D characters in a trench coat.
I am several NPCs in a trench coat, and also the DM.
Yeah, that's a pretty big trench coat.
Yeah. Lots of stuff happened in the last session. And we're not going to touch on any of it in this one. We are cutting back to Pruitt and Ruby this
Suspense.
session. Yep, you guys get to wait until... I don't know. This one should be going up on Friday.
Yes.
So you'll be waiting from Wednesday to Sunday for this if you're watching live, which, good for you if you're watching live. We're just gonna get right into it, and we're gonna touch on Ruby first. Hi, Ruby.
Hello.
So you've kind of set off on your way. What exactly is your plan? Do you have a plan?
Basically I have a plan of attack, and it's attack.
Okay, I love that.
I want to find Arena and take care of her.
Okay. So you're just gonna fuck off to Castle Ravenloft?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'd like to not go in all guns blazing, but...
Okay. So how were you traveling? Were you flying in
Yes,
Okay,
flying.
cool. Kind of trying to meet Strahd halfway there.
Yes.
Alright, so you're working your best to catch up. He is faster, significantly, but you were working your way to catching up. And you can kind of cut across things in a way that he can't quite do.
Yes, I'm not quite sure what his fly speed is, but...
Well, see, the thing about it is he's carrying Arena.
Yes.
And...
My fly speed is 30 when I'm
Yes.
morphed.
Yes. I don't actually know if I gave him a fly speed or not. I guess we'll find out. In my stat block for him. Should probably have that pulled up. That's okay. We'll pretend I do. We're all gonna pretend. We're gonna pretend so good.
That's what D&D is.
Yeah, D&D is all about pretending, and I'm...
It's all about pretending. Pretending things are happening, pretending your DM has the stat block up.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, your plan is basically just go and figure it out on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Love that for you. So as you kind of get to the castle, you're obviously a while behind him. You are kind of... It's not... It's you're traveling as quickly as you can because you're flying over a lot of things. You're kind of cutting through.
Yes.
You can do that in your form because the mist is actually sparse enough. Kind of like I said in the last episode, the mist is sparse enough because all of his bullshit is sparse enough that you can kind of fly over.
Mm-hmm.
Travel is made much easier by the fact that he's deeply, deeply distracted. So you arrive at the castle. It is the dead of night, not that it's that much clearer during the day. You don't need sleep, which is very convenient for you. You arrive at the castle. It is dark. There is not much that you can see. And all is still. All seems relatively peaceful as Barovia ever gets. So, what from here? How do you want to enter? What do you want to do?
Well,
you're very much driving this experience.
I guess that I will come down briefly outside. Okay. Close, but outside of Castle Ravenloft.
Okay.
And I will approach.
Okay.
Is the drawbridge down?
The drawbridge is up. Not meant to be inviting at the moment.
Mm-hmm. But I can
that matters
fly over.
Yes, you can fly over easily.
I'll kind of perch on the wall near the gate.
Okay.
What do I see?
What do you see in which direction?
Towards the castle.
You see the castle, and that's about all you see.
Do I see any signs of life? Any room that indicates?
No, not on the outside. No lit windows or anything from this angle.
Alright. Checking what spells I have prepared.
If you want to configure that, you can. Feel free.
I guess I will enter.
Alright. You enter. How exactly are you approaching this? Are you trying to walk through the main doors? Are you...
I'd like to stealth.
Okay. So how exactly do you want to do that? Right now you can fly. Do you want to try to get in through a window?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, through like a side hall window.
Okay. So you kind of fly around to one side of the building. Left or right, I'll let you choose.
Left.
Okay. You fly around kind of the left side of the castle.
Also, I know I've played Crystal before. I don't have the map of Castle Ravenloft memorized, so...
Don't worry, I don't either. So I'm making it up as I go, entirely. Because I'm not pulling it up. So yeah, you kind of fly over to the left wall of the castle. Uh, there are a couple windows. None of them are lit. There's no movement inside any of them that you can see. There is one window. Most of them are kind of shuttered closed. There is one window that doesn't have shutters over it and has a curtain on the inside though,
Okay.
which kind of draws your eye immediately. You can't see light from inside necessarily, but the kind of the thin, very light amount of moonlight that kind of illuminates the side wall of the castle, you can see that this window is not boarded like the others.
Mhm. I'm gonna peek in through the kind of curtain.
Okay. So it's not open, the curtains are on the inside,
Oh,
but you
okay.
can kind of see through. They're kind of parted part way. You can see in this room. It looks like it looks like some kind of servants' quarters. There's no one in it right now, but that's what it appears to be to you. Do you want to try to open the window?
Yes.
You can try to push it up from the outside.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, it opens. So you've got your way in.
I want to peek my head in before going all the way proper in.
You don't see anyone in the room.
Then I'll get him.
All right, you climb through. You are in what looks like this uh, occasionally occupied but not currently occupied servants' room. It's sparsely decorated. There's just kind of a bed, a one-person bed, and a dresser for clothes, and just a couple of other things that someone might keep in a bedroom. It's not particularly fancy. Certainly not a room Strahd would sleep in.
I don't see any pictures of any servants or anything
No,
like that. Okay.
not in the room.
In that case, I will keep going.
Okay.
I'll kind of head out of this room. I want to do this as stealthily as possible,
Yes.
kind of peek around corners. And
Okay. Would you roll stealth for me, please?
yes. Also, roll anything you want regarding navigation.
Okay. I won't have you roll anything yet because you're just kind of wandering around right now. Is there anywhere in specific that you want to try to get to?
Whatever he's keeping arena.
Okay.
It's 17.
Okay. So 17.
Yes.
Yes. You are kind of creeping through the hallways. You haven't super personally pored over the floor plan that you guys had, the blueprints for the castle, which would be
Yeah.
great if
I
you had
should
them
have
right now.
brought those.
Yeah, well, that's okay. It happens to the best of us. You haven't super looked over them in detail, but you do know, or at least you've kind of gleaned from glancing at them and discussing them with the others. Strahd's room is kind of somewhere in the center of the castle. He kind of keeps himself in the middle of things. Probably to make him hard to get to. So you're on the second floor right now. There are four, I think, stories to Castle Ravenloft. So you would
My
assume he's on the second or third.
my two thoughts initially were I know Start as a chamber,
Yes.
and I remember you mentioning a chapel in the
Yes.
designs.
There is a chapel.
Those are my
Yes.
two worries.
Yes. So you could potentially find Strahd in his room, which, yuck. You could also potentially find him in the chapel, basically preparing that. You don't imagine he wouldn't bait you into coming, because
Yes.
he's that kind of person. But he could be preparing right now.
Do I have any idea which is easier to get to from where I am?
The
Should I roll?
chapel, you would imagine, is on the first floor, and you're on the second floor,
And I think
if
he
that matters to
could
you.
be on the second floor.
He could be on the second or third. You would probably figure second, based on what you remember.
I'll peek the chapel first, just because I think it might be easier if there
Okay.
are stairs near me at all, because it
There are. You
might
can
be more
find.
obvious.
Yeah,
to
you
see.
can find kind of down the hallway, like a spiral staircase that leads kind of down onto the first floor. You also know there's like a basement level.
All right.
Uh, you walk down. This kind of leads you into the main foyer of the castle, which is a little hard to sneak around in, but there are side paths, side hallways, presumably meant for servants to kind of move through without really being seen. So you kind of pass through these corridors. I'm just going to leave your stealth roll to 17. You kind of pass through, peeking around, just kind of keeping moving, trying not to get too sidetracked by looking at any one thing. And you pass a couple of rooms. You pass a very, very elaborate banquet hall, which is currently empty, which you assume is where Strahd invites his guests, for better or worse, for dinner. Uh, you pass that, and as you get back further, there is this This kind of divides into two sides. And as you kind of creep around through the kind of the center hallway here, you kind of go around one and then go back into the center area. And you can see on kind of the other side of this floor is a throne room, which is also currently unoccupied. And behind both of these rooms, you see a chapel.
Alright.
Roll perception.
Nervous.
Fair
But
enough.
on the surface, I look calm and ready.
Okay.
14.
Okay. Would have been nice if you had the advantage there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it sure would have.
Nat 20 would have been real nice. Alright. 14. You look into this chapel, you kind of peek around the corner. You don't immediately see anyone inside. Uh, there is this kind of chandelier overhead that radiates light, but not the kind that would hurt him. And non magical light, specifically. It seems like it's lit with candles that probably someone has to keep lit, which is kind of a pain in the ass.
It's one person's whole entire job.
Yeah, probably. To just light these every several hours,
Oh, that
basically.
sounds fucking miserable.
Yeah, he probably has a rotating cast of people who come in and light these like 3 or 4 times a day. Replace the candles as needed. He probably doesn't keep it lit all the time, in fairness. But they are lit now, which is interesting. It is otherwise empty, or at least it appears to be.
So he's not here.
No. There are a couple other things of note as you look in. You note that the chandelier is lit. You note that everything seems very well preserved and pristine in this room. Very similar to how I was describing the Abbey in the last episode, not that you were there. But very pristine, very well preserved, very nice looking, and well managed, well maintained. There are these bright red, kind of poinsettia-esque in nature flowers that are basically, these vines have them kind of wrapped around the altar in this chapel. And there are multiple stands of them just standing in place, basically placed all around this room. Very bright, vivid red, and that strikes a chord with you.
Alright.
But they are not here, as far as you can tell.
Then I'm going to try to go find it.
Okay, you're going to find Strahd's room?
Yes.
Alright.
Do you want to roll anything to navigate?
Survival with advantage because it's not that hard to figure out where you're going inside.
Natural 20, 25.
Alright, perfect. It doesn't take you very long. You remember more of the map than you seem to have realized. And as you kind of wander around, you've already been on a lot of the second floor, you've kind of traversed it, so you remember the layout. And you do find it, kind of in the back of the second floor. At least you find what you assume is it. It's this clearly blocked off, very large room that the doors are currently shut to. It's kind of in kind of the back center of this floor. The doors are closed, there are no windows looking in. But you have to assume this is the room. There are these massive hanging portraits of Strahd on either wall next to the door, so it's a pretty easy guess.
A bit arrogant.
A little. You don't hear anything from inside.
Nothing at all?
Not right now. The doors are thick and the walls are thick, you can't be sure there's nothing.
Can I try to open the door?
Roll stealth with disadvantage.
Alright. That's a 5.
It sure is.
Hey, it's fine. I have a cleric ability that is Destroy Undead.
If
This will
only
be
it
an
worked
easy
that
fight.
way.
Yeah.
If only it worked that way. That would be really convenient, wouldn't it?
What do you mean it doesn't work that way? It works fine.
It's just fine. Well, if you had that, why didn't you just kill it last time? Silly.
I should have used that last time.
You should have thought about it. Very simple solution, really. You push open the door. You hear this choked sob. Kind of like someone immediately moves to cover their mouth to keep themselves from crying. You do not hear anything else. This door kind of creaks loudly as it opens.
Does it sound like a girl?
Yes.
I want to enter then.
Okay. All by yourself?
I don't hear anything else?
No.
Then yeah, I'm gonna risk it. I.
You're gonna go in?
Yeah.
You. I'm gonna have to put some trigger warnings on this episode. I'm gonna have to slap some more on this one. Don't let me forget to do that when I edit this
Yeah.
video. Uh,
This episode sure can contain adult
this
themes.
this episode, I put one on the one. I put one on 11. I'm gonna put some more on this one. I'm just gonna warn you right now, and I'm gonna warn the audience right now. This is rough. This is real nasty shit.
Alright.
You walk into this room. There is a bed in this room. It is a very large bed. There is this very fucked up, very large portrait of Strahd. Assumedly, this was commissioned by him, biting the neck of a woman who looks exactly like Irina. Beneath this portrait, this kind of hangs over the bed proper, this very large, kind of king-size bed. Just frankly ridiculously big. Next to this bed, tied to the wall, like chained to the wall, is Irina. She is. God, I hate to say this. This freaks me out a little bit. She is stripped naked and has clear bite marks on her neck. And these chains are just long enough for her to kind of slump back against the wall and cry. And she is crying. And she hears this door open and just kind of doesn't even look up, just kind of covers her mouth to, like, silence her sobbing. And, like, squints her eyes closed.
I realize I still look like the demonic tiefling.
Yes, you do.
The demonic
Do you
drow
drop that
variant I
form?
have. No, because I need to keep my wings up.
Okay.
These chains.
Yes.
How hard would they be to break? Do they look like?
They're strong. They're sturdy. It would take a significant degree of strength and effort to pry them off or break them. You're not sure you could do it with a standard weapon. You might be able to, like, crush them with, like, a mace or, like, a warhammer, something blunt, but a sword wouldn't cut it.
Sacred flame?
I'm gonna rule it's radiant damage so it wouldn't burn her.
Yeah, I mean, even if I hit the chains in the middle, just
Yeah.
to make them not attached to the wall.
I'm gonna rule that's not how it works,
Okay.
unfortunately. You can damage a structure with that, but more than damaging the structure, it would probably hit her because they're so close to her.
Okay. Hmm.
There's not a way to really damage something that small, in my mind. Unless you had, like, a specific... It's a deck save, it's a range. You know?
Yes. How long are the chains?
They kind of extend from just, like, above arm length. Kind of the holders, the things that stick into the wall, are, like, where her arms would be if she were standing, but they extend down to where she's kind of curled up in, like, a ball on the floor.
So I couldn't risk them hurting her even if I attacked them at the base?
If you did that, you could probably do it. It would take a lot of damage. And magic damage, you're not sure if these will resist magic with how he's set it up. You're not sure if he'd bother warding them or something. You're also not sure that he doesn't have some sort of alarm spell on it. But you wouldn't put it past him, I'll say.
Oh.
She doesn't see you still. She has her eyes, like, squeezed shut.
I want. I want to cast silence on
Okay.
the lock.
Okay.
On the
On the
back
door.
back of the chains.
Okay.
And then we'll hold concentration on silence.
Mm-hmm.
I want to Sacred Flame on the
Okay.
where the chain's at the wall.
So that it won't make noise. Love
Yes.
that for you. Yeah, go ahead. Roll damage for me on Sacred Flame.
Uh, it's going to be 11 damage.
Alright. You kind of focus on one of them. The one kind of holding up her right arm.
Yes.
Uh, as you do this, the chain drops. It breaks. Nothing immediately seems to sound off. And she, like, jumps and, like, jerks her body to one side to avoid it, like, falling and hitting her. And kind of starts crying again. Doesn't look up still.
I want to go to the other one.
You want to do it to the other one?
Yes.
You do that. Uh, she is shaking and clearly trying to not cry and clearly failing miserably at it. As you break this other chain, she does not even bother to move out of the way of this one, and it just kind of drops and, like, it doesn't, like, seriously injure her, but it weighs heavy and, like, basically, like, drapes itself hard over her kind of shoulder.
Can I try to grab it before that happens?
You're kind of far across the room from
Yeah, I
it.
guess that's fair.
It basically, like, it doesn't really hurt her, but it hits her hard. And she just kind of flinches but does not scream. Does not cry out in pain. As you're kind of looking at her now, she looks bad. Uh, she's got, like, blood on her neck still from where he bit her. Like, this long trail of blood kind of runs down from her neck down, like, halfway down her chest. Where it's kind of dried, where she hasn't been able to wash it off and he hasn't bothered. There's more than one bite mark, there are several. And a concerning amount of blood, but it's all dried, so you'd assume she's okay. She has bruises on her wrist that you can kind of see under the chains, under, like, the like, handcuff part of the chains. On her ankles. And she has these, like, you can kind of see now that she's kind of partway turned away from you, she has, like claw nail scratch marks down her back.
She's, I'm assuming, in shock at this point.
Yes.
Trying to calm her down and get her to be functional to get out with me here is a bad idea.
Yes, it doesn't seem
So
plausible at this point.
I'm just going to pick her up and cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay,
Drop the silence, cast Pass Without Trace.
okay. Send me the text of Pass Without Trace real quick so I know exactly what I'm working with here. Okay, cool. Awesome. Alright. She doesn't super react to you picking her up.
So I pick her up, and then this shadow and, like, muffled sound starts to
Mm.
surround us.
Okay. She is so in shock. She doesn't move. She doesn't really register you specifically. There is one thing I'll say. Strahd is a vampire. He is very cold to the touch. You are part fiend. You've always run extraordinarily warm.
Yeah.
When you pick her up and hold her, I assume you're kind of... Are you bridal style carrying her? How are you carrying her?
I think bridal style, yeah.
She kind of, like, almost curls into you, instinctively, trying to keep herself warm. She doesn't seem to know it's you or recognize you, but she knows you're warm and she knows he's not, and she feels something about her, something about the situation strikes her as safe enough to curl into you.
Is there any form of blanket I could take to preserve her modesty?
You could, like, pull a sheet or a blanket off the bed and take it with her, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't suppose I'm lucky enough to have this room have an open window.
No. This room has no windows.
Then I want to try to go back the way I came.
Okay. You step out of this room. You close the door behind you. It kind of creaks annoyingly again.
Won't even bother to close the door, honestly.
Okay, that's fair. You leave the door open then. Doesn't creak. Because you have not closed it. You walk out of this room. You kind of very, very quietly, very, very carefully move down the hall. I would like for you to roll stealth for me again. You do have plus 10 to it,
Yes.
obviously.
She should also theoretically roll.
Yes. She's unconscious, so I don't quite know what that means. Or not unconscious, but in shock. So what does that mean for her?
Probably just means I have disadvantage.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll say that.
21 with disadvantage.
Okay. I need to check something real quick. Don't mind me. Perfect, okay. Alright. So you move kind of quietly, quickly, stealthily, toward the way you came back in, toward the window you came back in through. Uh, you move quickly, you know where you're going, you know where you came from, and you get to the window which you left open before to get out easily. It is closed.
Okay.
You're in the room is empty, the door is closed, or the
Well,
window is closed.
can I just Sacred Flame the window
To break it open?
without having to put her down?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can do that. Go ahead, roll damage.
Yes. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. There is one more thing I wanted to do before I
Okay.
left that bedroom. I
Okay.
did remember. Sacred Flame does burn, right?
It's radiant, but yes, it burns.
I wanted to Sacred Flame that portrait.
More than fair. You see this kind of hole burned into the center of it.
That
That
felt
feels good, yeah.
appropriate, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I want to Sacred Flame the window.
This window kind of bursts open with the damage of the sacred flame and shatters, leaving this kind of large, little bit jagged hole, but you can figure it out. You're not going to die crawling through it.
No, or hurt her.
No, you can get her through fine. It's a matter of you not getting piercing damage or whatever from getting stabbed with glass shards.
It'd be a hell of a way to lose.
It would. It would really, really suck. You have more health than that, thank goodness. You start to kind of exit through this window. You're still flying. You can kind of hover through the window. Uh, as you move out of the window, you. And I have to look something up. Don't mind me.
Help.
Don't worry about it. I would like you to make a con save for me.
A con save.
Yes, Constitution saving throw.
Oh, one sec.
Mm-hmm.
I do have advantage on those because of my
Okay.
race.
You do, that's true. Very good news.
14.
You go blind. You can't see anything.
Okay.
Magical blindness. You have had a blindness deafness spell cast on you. You are blind. How long does that spell last? 1 minute. Okay, good to know. As this spell goes off, you feel this force kind of slam into you. And you feel, basically you feel your, like, throat get pinned to the wall of this castle. You are still holding her. She doesn't fall. What do you do?
Can I feel what's grabbing me?
I mean, yeah, you can feel what's touching you, yes.
Spiritual weapon.
Okay. You're gonna have a hell of a disadvantage to hit with it, but it looks like you pull it off still.
26
So,
with
yeah,
disadvantage.
26 with disadvantage. All right.
Just on basically, if it's an arm, if I imagine it's an
Yeah.
arm at like wrist level.
Yeah. Yeah. So roll damage. It's force, right? Force damage.
Uh, yes, force.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, go ahead and roll the damage on that for me.
8.
All right. So you summon. What kind of weapon is it? Out of curiosity. What kind of imagery do you conjure for this?
So I think with the spiritual weapon, at this point, after my more recent conversation with my
Yeah.
parents, you see this sword kind of
Mhm.
manifest. This sword with this kind of spike imagery on the hilt. This
Okay.
almost looks like a trident,
Mm-hmm.
like the devil's pitchfork.
Okay.
But where you would see the like pitchfork prongs
Mhm.
properly, there is a blade. and on the hilt of the blade proper there is a spider.
Okay, I love that. Very cool.
And it has the visual effect of being on fire without
Mhm.
actually doing fire damage. It has
Okay.
this kind of ghostly fire around it.
Very, very cool.
And it,
Okay.
it manifests and cuts into what's holding me.
You hear a very loud hiss. Not so non-reminiscent of the noises you've heard Strahd make when he's injured in the past.
Is blindness deathless concentration?
No,
Okay.
it is not. It is a minute. It is not concentration. Unfortunately. That would be
Yes.
really nice if it were. But it is not.
Does he let go?
No. He hisses very loudly, but he does not let go. In fact, you feel this pressure kind of tighten around your throat. I would like you to make a con save for me now.
Right. 12.
13 with advantage, but it doesn't
13
really
with
matter.
advantage, yeah.
It doesn't make a ton of difference. Yeah, you feel these kind of sharp nail claws. You have to assume it's him.
Yes.
Kind of digging into the sides of your throat. You can feel it like starting to prick in and almost draw blood. As he kind of squeezes his hand like around your like throat proper. And you kind of hear this just whimper from where you're still barely managing to hang on to Arena. As she kind of moves a little bit in your arms. It is taking everything you have to keep holding on to her because you don't want to drop her and you don't want him to take her back. But you do still have her in your arms, and she kind of whimpers and moves just a little.
I still have my spiritual weapon up, yeah.
You do. Would you like to use it again?
I know the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to turn the weapon towards Arena.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay.
I attack Strahd with it again.
Okay. Roll damage. Or roll to hit, yeah. Jesus Christ, you're rolling
27.
really good. Yeah, with advantage, you've rolled a 26, a 27, and 2 more 27s. Or with disadvantage, which is kind of insane. Roll damage for me.
Yeah. Sorry, does that burn another spell slot?
No. It saves up as a bonus action for like a minute or something, I think.
Yes. 8, again.
Okay. So again, you kind of strike at his wrist, kind of trying to pull him off of you. He hisses again, and this time I'm going to have him roll something privately over here. Okay. Please roll athletics or acrobatics with disadvantage. But yes.
12.
Okay. So that is not great. You feel him kind of his grip start to slip, and then you feel yourself kind of you try to wriggle out of his grasp, and he just tightens his hold on you again. And you hear her kind of. You can't see her because the spell is still off, but you can hear her moving. You can feel her kind of moving in your arms, and you hear her like very quietly, like sob again. And you hear, you can't see, but you can hear him speak. He's very, very close to you. Give her to me, and I will let you walk away alive.
Bite me.
He laughs. And you hear the unsheathing of a blade in his other hand. And because you are fucked up and pinned to the wall, I'm just gonna kind of rule how this goes, because I think that's reasonable. Yeah?
Yes.
Is there like a disadvantage roll for that, or an advantage on him attacking you? You're basically prone. Is prone advantage? I don't know anything.
Let me look at the prone condition real quick.
I feel like I'm ruining the cinnamon topography of the moment.
While prone, advantage.
Okay. I will have him roll then. As I look at his weapons. Okay. What's your AC?
My AC is 17.
That's very unfortunate. So, funnily, his first roll was a natural 1.
Alright.
His second roll was a 5, but he has plus 12, so that exactly meets your AC.
Yep.
He cuts into your wing. The wing of your form.
Right.
And then he lets go. With that injury, you cannot hold yourself up to fly. And you drop. I will give you one action as you drop.
I still can't see.
No, you can't see. It'll wear off in a couple turns.
Do I have any idea if healing word on myself would be quick enough to heal that?
Healing word's a bonus action.
Yes.
I would say yes, it'll do enough.
I will healing word.
Okay. I didn't have him roll damage, but
Yeah.
just heal it off, basically.
Yeah.
For now. For the specific way he was targeting you, yeah.
So yeah, he drops me. I cast healing word.
Alright, and you kind of manage to unfurl your wings proper and kind of hover in the air, just in time to not, like, plummet to the ground.
Yeah, I probably skid to a stop near the ground, but
Yes.
I did not.
It is about this point that the blindness deafness wears off, and you realize just how close you were to hitting the ground hard. You're like maybe a foot off the ground as you fell. And he kind of descends and stands in front of you. Do I need to ask again?
You don't need to ask.
Give her to me then.
My answer will not change.
That's very unfortunate for you.
I feel now might be an appropriate time for Pruitt to get in.
Yes, we're going to cut to Pruitt now. Hi, Pruitt.
Hello.
So you've gone back to barracks.
Yes.
What are
Run
you up
back
to?
as fast as I can.
What are you up to over there?
I run into Bubble Saga's hut.
Do you knock? Do you remember
No.
to knock? Okay. She kind of turns around. Do you remember what I said about knocking?
My apologies.
You are back in a hurry.
I need help.
With what?
Strahd has taken Arena.
Well, that most certainly sounds like you do need help.
Yes.
What would you ask of me?
I thought about this while I was running here.
Good.
I have 3 things I need to ask you, and I know that's a lot.
Go ahead.
Number 1, I need sending stones. 1 in my hand, 1 in the hand of my squad mate Ruby, and 1 in the hand of Rudolph Van Richten.
That can be arranged.
And all connected to each other.
Yes. She snaps her fingers and a sending stone appears in your hand.
What does this cost?
Call this one free.
Thank you.
Next.
I'm not sure if I'll need this, but I'm staying here in case I need to pull Arena and Ruby out.
Okay.
Which I will check on. Hello, he says into the sending stone.
You speak into the sending stone. Ruby, what do you say in response? This is about where you're at right now. You feel this kind of appear in your hand while you're still holding Arena.
Pruitt? Yeah. How are you doing?
It's a bad time.
Kind of in a situation.
Pruitt, through the sending stone, you hear Strahd kind of laugh in the background, just kind of chuckle to himself. You can tell it's him. You hear, kind of over the sending stone, go on. Don't let me stop you.
Do you need me to pull you out of there? Wouldn't be horribly opposed. Is that something you can do before Strahd can react? I look at Bubble Saga.
Maybe.
Just wish Strahd was somewhere else.
She can't directly affect them,
No.
unfortunately. How do you want her to do this? To just summon them there?
Basically the effect of Gate.
Okay. It's a very powerful spell.
Or any other thing that can just
Mhm.
teleport someone like that, but
Okay.
yeah, something like Gate.
Alright. You kind of, Ruby, you hear her voice. You hear Bubble Saga's voice over the sending stone. You're on speaker stone. Strahd kind of growls under his breath, hearing her voice. Witch.
It pays to have friends.
Strahd wouldn't know what that's like. So it does. You know better than to intervene. I know a great many things from my time with you. But the thing I know most of all is that I want you to lose as much as anyone else. And what, you think you can make this work? You think you can stop me? You and your little band of adventurers? I could have killed her if I'd wanted to. But you didn't.
Why didn't you?
Because he is very, very full of hubris. And he would rather make a point and show off, shut up, than do the smart thing. That is why I am still alive. And that, too, is why you will be. She snaps her fingers, and the last thing you see, Ruby, is Strahd swing at your hand that's holding the sending stone with his greatsword, and then you flicker. And then you appear in Baba Saga's hut. And I think even though that's a little bit short, that's probably where we're going to call.
Well, 1 second.
Okay?
Might as well resolve the rest of the things here.
That's fair. We'll go through it.
Does Van Richten say anything after that?
So he has access to the stone network.
Yes.
He may not have been listening 100%, but probably was. You kind of... After that happens, you hear kind of over the sending zone, you guys are kind of catching your breath from the anticipation from the stress. Ruby, you're still in a little bit of pain. You're holding Arena. And you don't hear anything over the sending stone. But outside, you hear the sound of a wagon moving to a stop.
Alright.
Then you hear a knock at the door. Come in.
So I'm the only one who didn't remember to knock, alright.
All of you see, as this door kind of is pushed open, a very tired, very, very stressed looking man. Later on in years, his hair has gone gray, kind of streaked with white. He is holding a cane in his hand that has a blade protruding from the end of it. And what you hear him say is, "Oh, thank the gods. That was incredibly stupid." You're very, very lucky that your friend is smarter than you. He is looking directly at you, Ruby.
Yeah. Were you watching?
I know things.
I'm sorry, but what else was I to do?
That was very, very reckless.
I'm stronger than I look.
I didn't say it wasn't the right thing to do. I just said it was stupid. Sometimes a little bit of carelessness and stupidity is necessary.
It was worth it.
All of you, he kind of turns to Baba Saga, including you, are going to pay dearly for what you just did. I know that, and you know that, and he knows that. But I would not have done it if I did not think something good would come of it. You, Rudolf Van Richten, know very, very well that I do not deal in consequences lightly. Yes, I know that very well.
I am sorry to interrupt. And to ask you for more. Could I? Could she get some clothes?
Baba Saga will oblige that rather quickly.
Hey, Ruby. Yeah? The Sun Sword. Shit. It wasn't with her.
Van Richten steps out for a moment. And you hear kind of the sound of like basically a zipper opening on the wagon flap being kind of parted. He knocks again before coming back in the door, and Babalai Saga allows him in, and he holds out the hilt of his sword to you.
Thank you.
We were there at the same time. I thought it wise.
Well, thank you. God.
That seems rather a simple resolution.
Everything's working out pretty well.
It won't stay that way long. You have other friends. Where are they?
Um, Kresk, they should be.
I see. To do what?
Looking for the rest of the holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Ah, yes, I remember. We should meet them there.
We should. Strahd has eyes and ears everywhere, yes?
Correct.
Babalai Saga, I need to ask you for one more thing, but I'm going to write it down.
She hands you a pad of paper.
I slide her a piece of paper that says something I am going to DM you.
Alright. This will not be shared on screen. This will be a reveal for later. Very exciting stuff here. She kind of looks at the paper, looks at you, nods very slowly, smiles. This will come when the time is right. You accept that?
Yes.
And whatever consequences may come with that timing.
Fine by me.
Good.
He's had enough surprises. It's time he get one of his own.
So it is. You all should be leaving. He will come here soon. He will. Very soon. Do you expect to handle yourself against him? No, not at all. I expect him to kill me. So I hope you all have gotten the last few things you need.
You expect to die?
He does not take such things lightly. I have been in his way long enough.
You could travel with us.
I am far too old to be adventuring any longer. But you have much life yet to live.
Do you know where you'll go when you die?
I believe that something good will come to me, and I am ready to accept the consequences of my decision. Go on. Don't stay too long. I would hate to see you trapped again.
Thank you for everything.
Prove it.
Yes.
Take care of the people who surround you.
I will. I will do that.
And you will be taken care of.
Good.
Now go. Rudolph, take them in your wagon, please. You've done me more than enough favors. I can do that one for you.
I will do my best to get her feeling better.
You'll have help in that. We'll all see what we can do.
I know that she's out of it and largely in shock, but I have not let go of her this time. Uh, I gently say, we will take care of you. And I kiss her forehead.
She does not wake properly. She does not come out of her shock state. But again, you feel her kind of curl inward, lean closer to your center mass.
At least she feels warm and she has clothes.
Yes.
Can you do something about these? By the way, I indicate to the chain still on her wrist.
I'll fix that myself.
Thank you.
Plenty to deal with that in the wagon.
And we will pile in the wagon.
And you will pile in the wagon, and you may actually meet the party at Kresk before whatever comes next. And that is where we will call the session.
Alright.
Thank you for watching this video from College of Lore. Remember to like this video, subscribe to join the party, and have a fantastic adventure.